Hey, all. It is October 9th, 2 days away from my father's birthday. Had a hard day today. Just been pretty sad overall. I've been having some significant twitching in my right glute. God, is it annoying. It's been going on for like 3 days. Like what somebody would call a hotspot. Wow. I haven't really had one of those so far. Through this whole thing, this whole saga, I never had anything that was would have been considered a hotspot. I just had random twitches everywhere. None that really stayed. There, that's it has stayed there. And been pretty intense, pretty repetitious. It's been freaking me out pretty bad. You guys kind of see me in a better light because I'm not just it's not when I'm just around and crying, get sad and stuff like that. You guys aren't seeing those times. You guys kind of see me when I'm collected and I'm ready to make a video. I've cried on video before, obviously, which I don't know whether to be proud of that or to be embarrassed, but I don't really care at this point. Um, I'm still having vision issues. They seem to be stable though. They don't seem to be getting any worse, but um, I don't know. I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow, and that's when I'm going to talk to him about the neuro-ophthalmologist. Um, there you go. I'm going to talk to him about the neuro and get that checked out. Um, I've been feeling like I kind of had a consistent hoarse throat for a while now. I've been taking allergy meds, and it doesn't seem to help too much. So that kind of concerns me. But besides that, I'm walking around. It doesn't feel like I'm walking around very well though. I feel like my legs are stiff, but I'm not getting a lot of exercise, so I don't want to freak anybody out. Got to always have this back and forth game about our symptoms. Um, but my legs are definitely feel stiff. Just walking around, I don't feel as limber as I used to, and maybe I'm not supposed to. But my legs shake like when I sit down or when I'm on them for a while. Like I played golf 2 days ago, and granted, I played golf 2 days ago. Almost 9 months into this thing. Should I have been able to do that? Don't know. I was able to walk around and play golf. Felt like I was dragging my feet though. Um, no failure, no tripping, no falling, but I just felt like I consistently would drag my feet. And granted, I was playing in jeans. Stupid, it's because I've gained so much fucking weight um, that nothing fits me anymore. And so I didn't want to wear gym shorts, so I just wore jeans and I played. Um, so yeah, um, my eyes have been kind of off and on. Like they'll go days where I have a lot of eye twitching, then days when I don't. Random pops in my hands, random pops in my forearms, random pops in my calves, and then the hot spot that's in my glute. Um, so I started taking Lexapro um, because this whole thing has seriously spiraled me into a just a pit of anxiety and depression, and I don't foresee that I'm going to be able to make it out of that. All natural, without meds. I've tried a lot of things. Nothing helped. And at least for any type of permanency to kind of claw my way out. So I'm going to give Lexapro a shot. I'm doing 2.5 milligrams right now. I've been taking it for about 6 days. Haven't had really any significant noticeable side effects yet. Um, I haven't had significant anxiety. I haven't. I didn't have it yesterday. Um, so I'm really hoping that that continues and maybe it will continue to get better and maybe I'll get some type of relief. That would be fantastic. Oh boy, that would be crazy. It would be crazy if that helped. I don't think it will. But I read some good literature that about it, like because depression is just really bad for your brain in general. And so I read some studies about how SSRIs can help lower brain inflammation, especially Lexapro, seeming to since it's the most selective for the serotonin, and so it can have benefits and actually can be neuroprotective in some ways, especially against like things like Alzheimer's. It slowed plaque accumulation and stuff like that. So whatever. If that's the case, if I have some sexual side effects or whatever, at this point, I'm not having. I don't have. uh, I don't have a sex life hardly, so not something I'm concerned with. I'm too fat and too lazy and weepy, too weepy of a person to have sex at the moment. So yeah, my wife is with our daughter at the fair right now with my sister-in-law, and they're having a good time. Um, I was contemplating going, but I golfed yesterday, and I'm just pretty beat. Um, yeah, like right now, my right glute is just going off. Um, Cried a lot earlier talking to my mom because, unfortunately, guys, I have lost all hope that this isn't ALS. Um, and it's funny because so many people have it so much worse than me, and they don't really think that and there's always hope for them, but I just can't imagine it being anything else at this point. I just can't imagine it being anything else. So that's the update. Kind of a hot spot in the glute. Vision issues are pretty much stable. No further degeneration. Yeah, dude. Jeez. My right glute is just going insane right now. It's such a like a weird persistent twitch. I've never had a twitch like this before. It's so persistent. It's just like bam 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 bam, and then it'll stop. So concerning. I do not like this at all. I do not like what's happened to me, guys. I had a good day after golf. I've been sober, by the way. I don't know for any of those people who have heard that I had a little bit of substance use problems. And not a problem, I keep saying it like that, but I never had a problem. I just partied. That's really it. Um, but I have, of course, been clean from anything. Booze was really the main thing that I ever utilized, which would spiral on a very rare occasion, on a rare enough occasion into the occasional, the occasional cocaine use. And I've of course been sober from all of that from alcohol mainly for months now. Um, I'm still holding out that this is I mean, there's still the chance that this is COVID since it started right after it, or at least the twitching did. Um, but it's hard to tell yourself that most days. It really, really is. It's hard to tell yourself that. One thing that I feel like I'm noticing with the Lexapro is that I'm getting a kind of similar effect as I was with the Paxil, which I'm getting kind of like little involuntary movements, small ones. Not nearly as bad as it was with the Paxil, but I'm taking a lower dose. So we'll see if that changes, I'm afraid. But aside from that, like I'm not getting seriously sweaty like I was on the Paxil, but I'm like, once again, I'm on a very low dose. 2.5 milligrams is lower than the lowest dose they make. That's half of a Lexapro 5 milligram that I'm cutting in half with that pill cutter. So I don't know. Um, but the brisk reflexes, the positive Hoffman sign, granted they're bilateral. What do you call it? Um, Equal. They're equal distribution. Um, brisk reflexes. Um, they're uniform. There's not once. I'm not more brisk on one side, something like that. Um, but and then bilateral Hoffmans. Which of course can't, some people with anxiety can have positive Hoffmans, but I think that that's too convenient. Plus the vision issues. I think I think there's too much convenience, and there's too many telltale signs, and I'm just in the really early stages of an ALS diagnosis. Um, but let's hope that's not the case. I'm gonna ask for a neuromuscular specialist. I'm gonna get a more intense EMG done. Um, one that's not done, so you can hear my voice crack right there. One that's not done from just a regular neurologist. I want a neuromuscular specialist to go over my EMG. Um, and if at this point I get a clean EMG from a neuromuscular specialist at whatever point this is, I'm still going to be scared. I'm still not going to know what's happening to me, but I will feel pretty damn confident that I don't have ALS at that point. At that point, it will, because I just had the EMG that I've done. I just have too little faith in. I don't think that it was done, by a caring enough neurologist to take me seriously and to really look at it. Granted, I just talked to him the other day, and he told me exactly what he would have seen if I would have had ALS, and he said he didn't see any of those things: positive sharp waves, fibrillation potentials, even fasciculations. He didn't see any of that. So I mean, he was knowledgeable about what he was supposed to see, but I don't know. I don't know. Um, Overall, got a little bit of stiffness in the joints that kind of they'll be a little painful, but I mean, overall, I'm still, you know, full fluidity in the fingers. Um, full flu. The only thing is, I feel like I get ratcheting. Doesn't feel as bad right now in my muscles, but that can be an adrenaline thing, just from being constantly anxious, constantly afraid, and maybe that'll get better. I don't know. Been sleeping fairly well. Um, just gaining weight, dude. I'm like 270 pounds now. So bad. I ate okay today, but I gotta start really taking care of myself again. But they say, hey, yeah, gaining weight for ALS is better. It's a good thing. It's actually more protective if you're a little husky. um, 30 to 36 BMI of 30 36 is actually better than below that. So let's go. Maybe I don't know. Overall, I would say that I feel a little bit in better, and this is probably the SSRI, is that overall, even though I'm afraid, overall, even though I'm kind of, there's a bleakness to the future, and I just cried. I just, I got it all out. Um, I don't feel the crazy pangs of anxiety, the really intense physical feelings of anxiety. So, God, let's hope that that gets better. Let's hope that continues to get better. Um, because the fact of the matter is that I'm not ready to go. I'm not ready to die. I got a lot of stuff that I want to do. I got a lot of stuff that I want to see. And I have a beautiful daughter that I want to see grow up, and I want to have another child. And I just want to be normal again. So there are a lot of people who said their anxiety and depression got really bad after COVID too, and some of them got on SSRIs, and that helped that too. Um, so I'm worried about my libido going away entirely because I already don't really have that well developed of a libido, and already have some issues in that realm. So I'm afraid that it's going to get a lot worse. But honestly, it's funny. I've been watching a lot of videos and stuff, and there's some people that say it actually got a little better because they didn't realize that they were depressed, and they didn't realize that they had anxiety to such a degree that it affected their libido in such a way. Um, doesn't allow you to be in the moment. Because I'm not. I don't want to get too. I shouldn't get too into that. I guess that's awkward. Um, but yeah, guys. My hopes are not too high. They're not too low either. And I keep having problems with depersonalization. Like I space out, and it doesn't feel like I'm in my body anymore. Before the Lexapro, even I'm hoping the Lexapro will return that, but I feel I don't. You feel kind of like you're in the third person. Um, you feel like you're piloting your body, like you're not just you, and that's depersonalization. And I think that's part of anxiety, and so I really want that to go away. I really just want to feel like me again. But and tomorrow I have the follow up with my neuro about my MRI. One of my actual neurologists is going to go over my MRI with me, and that will do a lot for my mental health too, because I keep thinking that the hospital just missed like serious stuff, and so there's a high probability tomorrow, guys. I might put up a video that's like, "Hey, I have frontotemporal dementia, and I'm not going to get any better. I'm just going to get worse. And all the things that I've been feeling have been, in very crude terms, is just been brain rot. um, my brain has just been rotting, and so I've been afraid, and that's why I've been overeating, and that's why I've been struggling with depression, because my brain's just rotting away slowly. And that's why I have muscle twitching, because it's they're the aspects of FTD and of ALS are so closely related, and so I've just got both. Mild form of both, but I have both right now. However, I hope that neurologist calls me tomorrow and he's like, "Yeah, your MRI looks great," and I'm gonna ask him for an EEG. So I gotta ask him for an EEG. I gotta ask my primary care tomorrow for the neuromuscular referral, and then I want to go, and then possibly a referral to an ear, nose, and throat doctor for perceived swallowing difficulties and having to clear my throat all the time, which I could probably get quicker than the other ones. And so that would do fantastic things for my mental health too, because if I go to the ear, nose, and throat doctor and they're like, "Yeah, nothing's wrong," then I'd feel even better. successful barium swallow, successful, look at my, whatever that area that, your vocal box, vocal cords, non-paralyzed vocal box. So we just have, and I told my mom this today, I said that I owe this to my family and I owe this to you guys to not rest until we get a for sure thing. Because if I do, in fact, have ALS, you guys, if I really do, then it can be slowed. The earlier you catch it, the better off you are. The better off you are. So if I can slow it before I have significant, like, walking difficulties. Oof. Freaking twitch this right here. My hand there. Before I have significant walking difficulties, or whatever's most affected, I don't know. Before I have serious issues like that, then that would be great. But that would be great. So we just got to keep pushing. Got to keep pushing for answers. Even though I feel like the diagnosis is already made. Let's see now. Yeah, my back left area, my arm's twitching. Like right around here. Yeah. So it's like, was switching my glute earlier. Here, my hand. It's everywhere. That's, which some people say is good. Some people say is bad. So I don't know, the tongue twitching sensation. I don't seem to be getting like I was getting a little while ago. I don't know what's up with that. I seem to be getting a little bit better in that regard. Only things I've been taking are the Lexapro now. I've been taking antihistamines. I've been taking my Zyrtec. That's really it. My creatine. Besides that, that's pretty much it. Because I just didn't want anything to react with the Lexapro. Because I have to. Really, truly, I have to beat the anxiety. I have to. It's horrible. It's horrific. The physical feelings of anxiety are horrific. They're so bad. I get so afraid. Phone alert for the front door. But yeah. So currently, that's it. Full mobility. Feel like my legs are stiff. My legs are definitely shaky. Because I worry that I have like a type of clonus in my legs. That's activated clonus. Like, okay, so one of the things that was happening was that, and I noticed this a long time ago. I was reaching to grab to input like my card into a car wash, and it was really far for me to reach, and I reached really far. My foot started shaking, started moving. Saw another guy that he did like a dip, and his feet would shake, and he said that was clonus. So that's frightening. And so maybe I already do. Maybe I already do have clonus. I haven't had clonus on any of my neurological exams, from any of my tendon reflexes, from any of my neuros or any of my primary cares. But I do have brisk reflexes, for sure. But maybe they're not that brisk. Maybe, I've got a friend who's said that his are doubly as brisk as mine. And so maybe they'll go down as my anxiety goes down. And the longer period of time when my anxiety is down, the less anxiety I'll have, or the less brisk reflexes I'll have. That's possible. I don't know. But We just got to really, the main thing is that the update is that I'm still here. I'm still okay-ish. My mental health is not very good. Um, but overall, I have to continue to try to treat the depression and anxiety. Because as of right now, that's worse. Technically, that's worse than my physical symptoms, if that makes sense. My physical symptoms are muscle twitching, and then self testing, brisk reflexes, Hoffman sign. But I am not struggling to perform any tasks. Like I said, I felt a little iffy on my walking while I was playing golf, but not bad. I was swinging a golf club and I hit it great on certain shots. So my physical symptoms are not that bad, but my mental states are horrible. So it's like, okay, so obviously I've got to deal with the worst one first, and that means that I got to continue the medication. My mother, my blessed, beautiful mother, she's on medication, and my grandfather had to be on medication, and it helped them. So be it. So be it. That's I'm gonna have to. I have to try. I have to at least give it like a serious effort. And so what I plan on doing is for the first 2 weeks, is I'm gonna continue to take that 2.5, and then what I'll do is I'll talk to my doctor and I'll start taking the full 5. But I've seen multiple people report this, that they feel better when they take it in 2 doses. So they'll take it 2.5 in the morning, 2.5 at not in the morning, but kind of like, after they wake up, and then a little bit later in the day. They'll split it up so they get that serotonin, because normally you'll take it and it surges and then it lowers, and surges and it lowers. So they take it twice, and so they get kind of a more prolonged effect. I'm gonna see if and they don't have as many side effects as taking a higher dose once. So I think that makes sense. Um, that makes sense to me. So I'm gonna try that. Uh, Try to see how that works for me. Um, oh, and I also have been taking my inhaler, my albuterol inhaler. Not every day, not all the time, but on an as needed basis. I haven't felt like I've been waking up so with such bad like chest congestion. So that's good. And maybe that's what that is, and maybe that's my antihistamine too, kind of helping with that. But we're going to continue the path of sobriety. We're going to continue the path. I was around people drinking the whole day when we were golfing, and I didn't have any temptation. I mean, it looked, I mean, really, it honestly would have been a good time, but the aching, crippling depression that happens, and the anxiety, and the just debilitating physical feelings the next day is not worth it anymore to me whatsoever. So, I'm already at my limit. I'm barely hanging on. Um, Sadly, barely hanging on though. So, barely, so I can't be expelling any other, or expending more energy into things that are damaging like that. But I don't feel like I'm having serious trouble speaking. I feel like I'll mispronounce some words sometimes, but I don't feel like I'm significantly altered in my ability to communicate. Um, like I'll stumble over my words in the way that, like, I'm not saying the correct word, and then I'm like, okay, what is that correct word? And then I'll say it. I'm more worried about that rather than like me not being able to say the word physically with my mouth. My mouth doesn't seem to have a problem at all communicating. It's my brain that I'm worried about. Is like I'm having issues just expressing myself. Um, but that anxiety can do that. Constant fear and anxiety, constant and depression. Your communication skills kind of take a plummet, kind of take, to you just drop off the face of the earth, because you lose the will to talk. And that's one of the things they ask you on your depression screenings, is that, have you noticeably begun to talk slower and stuff like that. So it can affect those types of things. Um, so things that haven't worked, CBD, at least from my experience with it. It didn't help my mental states enough, at least. And I didn't want to like super dose it or anything. I'm afraid to do that. So it just wasn't powerful enough. Xanax and gabapentin helped big time. You take 0.25 milligrams of Xanax and 300 milligrams of gabapentin, and you feel pretty okay because you can't feel any anxiety or anything at that point. But it does make you sleepy and make you dopey, and it robs you of your memories. You can't really remember too well, and so I prefer. So it seems like the SSRIs are better, and they have long-term problems, addiction problems, way worse than the potentials of the SSRIs. So they're very well known. So I feel safer. As much as it's hard, it's scary. It's scary to take the SSRIs because it's more permanent. The changes are more permanent, but maybe they're more permanent in a good way. Um, so I'm going to continue and pursue that. Uh, and yeah, that's kind of it, guys. I really wish that this wasn't happening to me. And a friend of mine mentioned, that he's not the same person that he was since before this happened, and I totally relate to that. I'm I'm not the same person mentally. I'm pretty much the same person physically. Pretty much, I can pretty much do everything that I used to be able to do, maybe with some more effort. But I'm not significantly disabled in any meaningful way as of right now, which is good. I even feel like my dexterity in my left hand is getting better. Like typing on my keyboard, I feel like I'm actually typing faster on my left hand recently. So that's awesome. Um, but it's my, what was I saying? Mentioned my friend. That's what it was. Sorry, I had to take a second. See, I'm afraid of that kind of stuff. The brain fog and like my inability to think is just sometimes. I've never had this problem in my life. I was so what I felt was quick-witted and intelligent my whole life. Was what one of the things that my wife fell in love with me for. It's one of the things that she really loved about me was how quick-witted I was. And So my friend had said he doesn't feel like the same person, and that's I definitely mentally don't feel like the same person, and I want so desperately to be back to that to who I used to be, at least to at least as close as I can get to him, to that guy. I'm almost his same size. I've almost ate my way back to being that same size. Uh, you know, um, which almost in a way I wonder if that's like a sign of healing. You know, that maybe a lot of my anxiety, maybe my anxiety was so bad for so long that I just wasn't eating. I don't know. Now, am I stress eating? Am I eating something? I've got anxiety now. I just don't know. There's so many variables, guys. I also have therapy, and I'm continuing to go to therapy. So we're just gonna keep on going. I love you all. I'm still not working. That's not going to change for in any foreseeable or meaningful way until we get a lot more certainty than what we're dealing with right now, or I start feeling mentally a lot better because of the Lexapro, which, like, let's go, fingers crossed. Oh man, I can't even tell you if that makes a really serious, meaningful difference in my life. Because the past 2 years have just been a total nightmare. Total nightmare. Like, Like right now, my heartbeat doesn't feel fast. Like maybe my resting. Somebody said this the other. I read on Reddit that somebody who was taking SSRIs. That was one of the things that happened is that their resting heart rate started finally going back down because they weren't just like all the time, which is exactly how I feel and have felt. But right now, I don't. Right now, I don't really feel like that. I feel interestingly calm. Interestingly calm. And it'd be cool if I could feel around if I could just feel like this kind of most of the time. Great. And maybe this is this SSRIs because we're clearing that first week. So of that very low dose. So I don't think I'm going to go above 5 milligrams. The most people get is like 20 milligrams. So I don't want to go. I don't think I want to go above 5. And see if that's just enough to knock the anxiety down. Because going up to 10, I'm almost pot. Maybe if I separate the doses out to 5 milligram, maybe that'll be enough to not kill my libido and not do serious detrimental things. Because it's dose dependent. So we got to see. But like right now, I feel okay. But like I said, I did have a terrible episode today. I was just crying. I was crying this morning. I hope my daughter came in this morning, and I was here on the computer, and was probably just looking up stuff about ALS or BFS, as I do every day, all the time. And she came in and she had a balloon in her hand. And she held it out in front of her, and I said, "Is that a balloon?" And she says, "Yes." And I said, "What color is that balloon?" And she said, "Purple." And it was purple. It was a purple balloon. And that made me cry. I just wept like crazy because of how much she's grown and how much she's advancing and stuff like that. And me, on the other hand, I feel like I'm deteriorating. So I look at her and she's growing and she's beautiful and she's healthy and all of these things. And I'm just like fat, sick, dying, afraid, horribly depressed, horribly anxious, overeating, this just stupid loser, not working. Not providing for his family, not taking care of the yard. There's weeds out in the front yard. They're just looming in the background, just hauntingly, just waiting for mocking me every time I go outside. There's spider webs everywhere. Garage is fucking a disaster. So it's just funny. At some point, you have to laugh. You have to laugh. And we can talk about what symptoms have gone away. The body-wide buzzing seems to have gone away. I don't have that nearly as much as I did. Nearly. Not even remotely close. That is pretty much gone. Even the one that's at the top of my spine, I don't really feel anymore. Don't know if that's a good sign because it started in my foot, moved up my left leg, into my left arm, and then onto my spine, and then went away. It's like a vibrating beetle crawling under my skin into my brain. So I don't like that. I don't like the visualization of that at all. Geez, I've been doing this for 40 minutes. Holy crap. But it seems to have gone away. I'm not really getting serious buzzing sensations in my arms or legs. My tingling, I had tingling in my feet and hands, seems to have gone away. The really bad body vibrations, not just the buzzing, but the body-wide vibrations, went away. Happening really when I slept or when I wake up. I would wake up like trembling. Like I would wake up and when I would reach up, like my hands would just be like, like all my body. I seen my daughter do it. So I don't know if it's like a fear response, if it's like an anxious response when you get afraid and you wake up, because she's done it. So I don't know. I don't know what that's about. Pattern glare seems to like kind of ebb and flow between bad and not bad. Sometimes I don't notice it. Hopefully I'll continue to not notice it. Oh, and I found out that my light sensitivity, that I was seeing that starburst effect around lights, looks at like that's just astigmatism. And I did get diagnosed with that when I was at my optometrist. That doesn't get rid of the whole visual field deficit thing and the optic nerve drusen, which is terrifying because that could mean that I'm getting protein deposits in my brain. Because that has to do with just like, protein clumping, inappropriate protein clumping. So if it's being deposited in my eyes, it could also be being deposited in my brain. So that's really scary. But we don't know that. We don't know any of those things yet. We don't know if that's even the case or not. The MRI is not going to show that for sure, but we're looking for just like non-obvious atrophy or weirdness. And it was done with and without contrast. They did two. So they did contrast and without contrast. So my neuro tomorrow should have like solid view of my brain. So we're going to find out how that goes tomorrow. I'm staying awake from caffeine. I don't drink caffeine at all. Haven't for a long time. Ever since my anxiety started, I haven't drank caffeine. So we're kind of just in limbo still, which is the worst place to be. But that's where we're at. So I'll update you guys after tomorrow. That's going to be a huge milestone of a lot of things. So we'll see how that goes. Anyways, I love you all. Be well.